Good morning, everybody. Slightly early here. Let me know you can all hear me clear in chat, and we will get on with everything. Morning, Sam, Kovper, Asa. Good morning. Stain, Coop, Marek. Good morning, everyone. So those of you who have been joining me the last few days and the last few weeks, today we finally got that move. Unfortunately, it happened overnight. All right, so we did talk about it in the Discord room. Once we started breaking that chop range yesterday, we got that move overnight, that big pump overnight for the break of this blue consolidation, this top level, and on the ES it was the break of the 5,800 we went over. If you want to think about where we have so far topped today, okay, then look at the daily chart, look at the top of the Bollinger Band. All right, we came and tagged it and we couldn't find buyers above that for now. So when we think about how the market moves, we are doing a giant W here, all right, and we're at the top of the Bollinger. So a back test can still happen. Might not happen today. So far we've had some pullbacks, but a back test into 250, 300, even down to 160 would still be considered healthy on a higher time frame for a potential pullback and hold. Okay, market overnight is thin. Remember, we talk about this a lot. The market overnight is thin. This is the cash gap on the QQQ. So we came and filled this cash gap. We have been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I keep talking about the importance of cash gaps, how the market is efficient. So if you go to the QQQ, you will see a big gap down day back in August. We have now filled that gap. The question now is simply, where are we going to pull back to? Where might buyers want to participate? So for now, we are still holding a potential flag range. Doesn't mean it can't come deeper. It can do a whole gap fill if it really wants to do it. What I would love to see, as always, is shorts come flying into the market late when there's a bit of profit taking and a potential trap and curl for upside. But I'm not going to force my opinion in this market. Okay, so far this morning we have already sold off over 150 points for this pullback. So I'm waiting to see now what might the market offer. All right, we're staying heavy right now against VWAP. We cannot get over the VWAP. On a 5-minute chart, I've done an anchored VWAP to the low before the pump. That would take us all the way down to 360 odd. All right, so I want to see, do we get some form of manipulation today? We built up quite a nice pool of liquidity already this morning in this move. Right here. Okay, so how can we use this? Do we end up using it later? Do we start to taper and go? Or are we just going to do a full gap fill today? These are the questions I have in my head. I would have much rather been long overnight for that move. Those of you in the room will know I was calling it. Those of you who were here yesterday, will know that we were looking for that push. I wanted to see ES get above 5,800. Once we did that, the market was open for that move. If you look at last night coming into midnight, the moment we broke 5,800, we opened up the squeeze to upside, all right, and we had a 30-point pump overnight. The problem that you now potentially have is, are bulls trapped? Okay, are bulls trapped buying in this volume area up here? Because the best buy was down here. Remember, yesterday we were pro trend. All week we've been pro trend, looking for this extension move. If the H1 needs to pull back to here, it's still bullish in that pullback for a continuation higher. That is the scary thing right now, all right, because where structure is, because if you look at this H1 chart, all these green bars up, all right, there's no real structure in here. The structure is way, way, way back here. So either it's going to pause halfway for a fib or value area low, trap and potentially go, or it could push, retest and fail and come back down here. So these are the ranges we're playing in. That range is massive. So you need to be very, very careful with your sizing today. All right, be very, very careful with your sizing. You can have big pushes and big flushes. We also have Fed talk pretty much all day. I don't know if Powell's on yet. He was late. He should have been on about 30-40 minutes ago, and he still wasn't, but they did release the document that he's going to talk about, and there was no comment on further cuts or anything like that. So the market right now chopping, probably because of that, because you had let's have a look. Kugler at 9.10, Bowman at 9.15. Jerome Powell was supposed to be at 9.20. He wasn't there at 9.20, so maybe he's on now. John Williams 9.25. We just had pending home sales. Then we've got the vice chair Barr at 10.30, Lisa Cook at 10.30 as well, and Barr again at 1 o'clock. So the market right now will have its news algos on. It will be searching right now for anything that they might say that might disrupt it. So why the pump overnight? Other than the technical breakout, those of you who joined yesterday, remember I said at the beginning, if Micron had good earnings after hours, it would be very good for the tech sector. And Micron had great earnings, massive run up in the after hours, and it's continued to punt this morning. So that strength rolled over into AMD, into Tesla, into Nvidia, into Meta, so on and so forth. The only one which was sluggish today has been Apple. It's had relative weakness because those iPhone 16 sales have been bad and the reports on it have not been good. Okay, so that was the first reason. We had the Micron earnings that look good. On top of that, China has come out overnight and said they're dedicated to getting a 5% push on the market, effectively printing money. So any of you who are playing any of those Chinese plays, all right, Li Auto, Neo Motors, PDD, Alibaba, you will have seen a monster gap up on those. That kind of ties in with everything I've been looking at. All right, I have been thinking big macro, hedge into gold. Most of that hedge is coming from China. Sell the dollar, rotate eventually from the US stocks into the Chinese stocks, which have a lot of room for upside. They've been hammered over the last 2 years. So from a macro point of view, it's starting to make sense. The question really is where is the top in this market? When are we finished? It could very well have been today, all right? That could have been it. I doubt it. It might need to repair. So far, so we're still flushing down, all right? More flushes on the market and the move you to lower time frame. Remember we said if it wants to do a full gap fill, it will. We're coming in testing an old gap range here at 380. And yesterday's high of day is way down still. A long way to go. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's have a look. So all the way down here with the high time frame algo. All right, that would be a full gap, and actually the full gap fill would be to closure point right down here. Do not really expect us to do that today unless there's some news and the market really wants to get weak. What I would like to see is some form of trap where shorts get trapped and we can do the rotation back up to retest these highs. That would be my preferable play. The reason for that is that the pro trend is still upside. So anything downside here is a pullback on an hourly, on a daily, on a 4-hour chart. It is not pro trend. That doesn't mean I'm going to guess the bottom here. If it wants to sell all day and give the whole move back, it will do so. So I'm just sitting on my hands here. I'm not in a rush to do anything right now. Fortunately, yes, missed that big move up overnight, unfortunately. I did get a very nice long towards the end of the day where we put in that bottom and started to curl. But really, I should have re-entered long in the new session, but I didn't. We talked about it in the room. Hopefully, some of you in the room got that overnight, hopefully. Morning, Chris. Morning, Michael. Morning, Glenn. Morning, Mitch F. Okay, so currently in a sell, all right? Currently, lower time frame is in a sell. It is a liquidity build between the lower time frame algo and the higher time frame algo. It has potential to come down here if it really wants to. There is a lack of structure. If you look left, all right, from overnight, there is a lack of structure for this move. All right, it's just a pretty much straight pump up. So if we go for a fib from previous day close to the high, okay, maybe it wants to come and test this fib all the way down here. So just sat patiently waiting right now. Days like this I always find tricky when I've been waiting and stalking the market for that move up and it goes without me. it can become very, very tricky. Because big moves like that, 500-point moves, when they do it in Asia and London on thin structure, can lead to these moves back down because the structure and volume is thin. Good morning, Ryan. Did any of you catch that overnight? Did any of you take the long position overnight for that move? Notice the VIX, those in the room this morning, VIX has now filled that gap, traded all the way back up to 1550 now. Right, it's a big push off the VIX, which low of day was 1490. Going to require patience today. It is going to require patience. We have an anchored view up. The anchored view up I've done currently, like I said, is sitting at around 350. All right, so I'm interested if buyers come back in there. That is anchored to Wednesday's low, all right, where we pushed out from Wednesday. That's where it's anchored. So I'm interested if the swing long traders come back in at that range, which is effectively the top of Asia. Amazing Abyss, good work. You got 100 points of it. Captain 786, you had a nice short off the London high in an Eval account, off the London high. Okay, so you were short basically around 500 and you took that pullback into sort of 450 before it then broke back out, I'm guessing. Good morning, Scott. Just scanning around here, guys, trying to look for some key levels. Really not much to do unless you got that short. I'm just going to have to wait right now. Apple back green on the day, Microsoft red, green to red, Amazon green to red. Nvidia did that breakout, all right, we talked about that breakout on Nvidia. Can it have more upside? That is the question. But lots of profit taking this morning. As expected, if you woke up and you were swing long and you were 500 points up for that breakout and you cleared out all those key levels, you are likely to take profit. The question really is how big is this pullback, all right? What we're seeing in this sell is nothing more than a pullback. Remember, this move here, okay, is a pullback move. Once we go to a higher time frame chart and we look at something like the H1, okay, yes, we've broken beneath this low. If we retest this and fail, that's where I'd have concerns. But if we reclaim this, then we can use this liquidity. That's what I'm thinking about right now. It's what I've been talking to the team about all morning. Can we reclaim this blue box and use the liquidity, or do we retest the underbelly of it and fail for a drive down? Right, I would really like to see this hold some form of structure, create structure, and start to move back up. Then I will know that the high time frame pullback has finished and we have the potential to drive higher. Quite similar to yesterday in many ways, except not as choppy. All right, very similar to yesterday. That's the type of move I'm looking for. Can we trap shorts near the lows? Can we reclaim VWAP? All right, when does the pullback leg finish, or does it reject the overnight supply that we created? Okay, so if we come back in to these sort of areas here, oh, let me draw, please. Let me draw. All right, if we retest these areas here and reject it, we're going to go lower. But if we reclaim it, we have a potential shot back into high of day. Okay, the gray box on here is the gap. And this is where there's a divergence from the rollover. This is equivalent to the QQQ gap, cash gap, but on the QQQs, like we talked about, we've filled that gap. All right, so this will be the divergence from the rollover. This is the one problem with futures, which is why I always chart out on the ETFs. All right, so if you're playing the ES, chart out on the SPY for those cash gaps. It will help. Yeah, Kat, so that was this short that we that I called, yeah, so that's what you took. Nice work. Fig, you're going long in the ES in the next red candle. Okay, that's interesting. Red candle on what time frame? Do you have structure? Do you have reason? That red candle might be horrible. You might long there at 809 and that red candle could finish at 92. So just be aware, structure first. Structure always first. Okay, so we're thinking, can we get tapering here? But for now, we are in a sell. Okay, lower time frame, we are in a sell. Your channel is effectively like this. Until we start breaking out of this clear channel, it will continue to sell. If it has trapped sufficient shorts here and we start to pivot back up, we are going to try and attempt to get back up into this range upside, and here I will pay good note to this level here. In fact, I'm going to mark it out so I have it. The underside of that H1 would be 255-ish. Hopefully it's about there. Yeah, that will do. Until we get that pivot, I'm not going to do anything. All right, I've missed the trend short for now. Doesn't mean you can't take it, right? There's lots of room to the downside if it really wants to go. Just remember, you are counter trend in the short, okay? You're counter trend. Might not looking at the 1 minute chart, but when you zoom out and look at the higher time frames, you are counter trend if you take a short today. So make sure that you have good risk reward and that you're taking profits on break of structures, that you're looking at the higher time frame levels. We're just doing a dance around right now. Let me show you. Right here, this is the anchored VWAP. I was trying to see if we draw towards it. It's the Asia high, it's the anchored VWAP. Would we draw towards it? Would we find buyers? Or do we need to come and back test all the way down here where we have structure? On a daily level, it might want to back test. Right, we have one wick where we are now, then we have a move into 325 and then 250. All right, so there is room downside if it's going to really dump and give back that whole move potentially. VIX holding its gains right here, right? So that reclaim and breakout and the gap fill. The gap fill was up to 1540, okay? And it's where it's hanging out right now. It's hanging out at 1540. So you need to see, is the VIX going to start extending here? If the VIX starts breaking 1560, 1570, all right, then we have potential for a squeeze up into the high 15s, 16s, and then we might have some weakness in the markets. Nice to see Apple starting to base out a little bit here, all right? Teetering on its red to green level, but it is green currently. Just being patient. Please, 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 if you just joined the stream, hammer that like button, hammer the subscribe button. We will get a trade at some point today. So far, we are in a sell, all right? So far, we are in a sell. There was the sell, push to fail. It gave you potential to the lower side of the H1 box, so the easy target was around here. And now we're in trend down until it proves otherwise. Just on a lower time frame trend down. QQQ into that gap, okay? It's into its gap, it's let go of the pre-market lows. There is no structure here on the Qs, which is what concerns me right now. Real lack of structure overnight. So I'm not looking at any option walls or anything like that, but I doubt there is much here. Maybe at 490. Exister, good morning. Yep, good idea, Scott. You're going to wait for the initial balance. You're going to wait another 13 minutes and then see what's what. Then go hunting. It's a good idea. We have quite a decent size initial balance right now. All right, 137 points on that IB right now. It's a big initial balance to play with. Not giant, but big enough that we can get some good rotation. Yellen talking now. Yeah, we have Fed talkers all day, which is not going to make this easy. Market loves to chop around when you have Fed speakers. Did anyone see the absolute scumbag that is Nancy Pelosi? Cannot believe that woman is not in jail. So it turns out, what did she do last week? She sold all of her position in Visa, making millions and millions of dollars. And then yesterday it came out that the Fed is going, or the government are now going to sue Visa. The timing is just ridiculous, isn't it? How is Pelosi getting away with this stuff? Lock her up. If this was anyone else, they'd be in jail. I have no sympathy for her based on her age or anything else. It is disgusting what these guys get away with, or these girls or ladies. Really shady stuff going on right now in the US government. So here's the break on the VIX, trying to push for a new high of day right now. Yeah, Scott, totally agree. It is unbelievable what she has been able to get away with. When you look at her investments in Moderna, the Visa thing, Nvidia, like, I'm sure Palantir she's made a load of money out of with all the war stuff. That will soon come out, I'm absolutely sure of it. Wild stuff. So just dancing around here. Potential tapering. We haven't had a new breakdown here. All right. So this is the low. This is the high that created the low. We're so far just chopping between. All right. Is it going to create more bear flag, more downside pressure? Or do they trap here? There's not much on the book. All right. There isn't a lot on the book right now. Fig, yeah. Maybe. If that's your type. If she's your type of woman. I'm sure she was rich. That's one thing I'm sure she was. I don't know about smoking hot. So there's a breakout, 1550 breakout on VIX now, tapping that level. As I said, QQQ into its gap. All right, so no gap and go play on the Qs. Or on the SPY, any of the ETFs. This is a big pullback. There's no long setup right now, Tim. No long setup. This can go very deep if it wants. Look at the H1. Look where support is. All right, if it wants to go deep, it will go deep. Long way down to daily levels. We rejected the top Bollinger Band on that push this morning. So as I talk about, the extension through Bollinger Bands, through 2 standard deviations, is very unlikely on the market. It's very rare that it gets through that, and it's almost never enables a market to base above 2 standard deviations, which is your top Bollinger. So from the 20-day moving average, which is why I use it, to the top Bollinger Band, it is 2 standard deviations. You will notice the market failed. Right? It failed to get through this orange line. Right, so we repriced into a daily imbalance into that gap, and we failed. This is also the top of the QQQ cash gap. VIX now, 1560. It's really starting to get going here. So the top of the range here from yesterday is 1560 up to 1570. If it gets through that, then it can start really pushing, and the market might start to show weakness. You need to watch for any potential tapering here. If the VIX starts to reject that, okay, and you do get tapering, you can think about joining here if we start to curl the flow zones and support action, especially if it gets above the VWAP. Until then, you cannot be guessing the lows on this market. It's no different to trying to guess the tops. Any questions in chat? Any questions here? Right. It looks to me like ES really just wants to come and test that previous day high, 5,800. All right, that's what it looks like to me currently. It's a draw on it. It wants to do a breakout retest. I don't know if the Qs will do the same thing, because that would require us to come all the way down to 20,270s. So another 120 points. I mean, it could do it, for sure it could do it, right down into, where's the red line? Right down into here is basically what the same move would be. Could do it in one big candle if it really wanted to be nasty. But ES is only, well, was only 8 points away from retesting that 5,800. So that's going to be a key level. All right, it's a key level to the upside. It's going to be a key level to the downside. Which VIX ticker do I watch, and on what time frame? I watch the VIX on a 10-minute time frame. What is this ticker called? It's the VIX CBOE Volatility Index Futures. That's what I'm watching. So through 1560 now on the VIX. Here goes ES, fresh lows, 805 now. It really looks like it wants to test that 800 to me. That is exactly what it looks like to me. A proper breakout retest type move. First level cleared on VIX. Next level will be 70 or 71. Remember, we have this anchored VWAP looming here. All right, these are just points of interest. Doesn't mean I'm buying here. These are just areas where I'm wondering, do we come back to that? Really, if it really wants to, it can come all the way down here. All right, this is still a pullback leg on H1. It trapped buyers up high. It's pulling back, seeking out where buyers might want to step in, if they step in at all. So far, that bearish momentum, lower time frame, holding up, isn't it? It's holding up, driving us down. Really wish I took these shorts in here, but so be it. Now I just have to wait. When I miss the play I want, I must wait. Gets tricky on days like today to take that short off the open, even though there's volume trapped above. When it starts doing those big moves, you don't want to get caught on it. It gets very, very tricky. And once it broke down that H1 level, it has never really retested it, all right? That sort of 450 level up to 460. This level here, I guess this was the retest right here, 1039, 1040. That was the retest. Should have taken that. That was the best short of the day. That made sense, and I missed it. So be it. Don't get them all. Don't get them all. So 805 now on ES. Is it going to drive down to 800? If we do that, are we going to backtest previous day high on the NQ? All right, everyone new in the stream, almost 50 of you here. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Share this stream with your friends. I'm here every day, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. market time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Not in a trade currently, guys. I'm not in a trade. Just sat and waiting, stalking the market, seeing what it wants to do. I would have loved to have been in this short, but I am not. So I've just got to sit and wait. So far, lower lows, lower highs. Can't be looking for longs here. %50 from yesterday's low of day to current high of day will take us into 340, which is very close to that anchored VWAP as well. So we're coming into and around those levels right now. Areas of interest. Good morning, Jeff. Areas of interest here. I'm interested. Do any buyer step up? There's a little bit on the book, but nothing notable, right? There's a buyer at 350, but they can just keep walking this down. There's a real lack of structure here today, unfortunately. $804 now on the ES. 4 more points to go until it hits that 800 whole number that it broke out from. Remember, it doesn't need to stop there. It's just a level of interest. We will look for patterns once we get there. If you are short in these moves, you must be taking partials into and around these higher time frame levels. So heavy here because there is no structure. Here goes VIX now at 1567. 1571 will give it a new breakout. Small soak there, didn't quite make 800 yet. Still want to see if we can get down there on the market. VIX at the 5-day, yeah, nice one, Coop, good eyes. And you're into the initial balance now, okay? The IB is now set. So now we can think about rotational plays, trend days, failed auctions. All these things will now come into effect. This is what we can think about in the markets. Just replying to some DMs here. Chris, I don't know. I don't have it on Ninja. And it probably depends what data you have, but it should just be VIX. It should just be there somewhere. I'll see if I can see it for you. But they might not have it. You might need to reference it on another screen. ES 3 points away now from that 800 mark. We are approaching previous day high here. Look at this, giving back the whole move right now. Here's your breakdown of this channel. It's still bearish. There's no reason to go long right now. We are still in bearish momentum. I have another anchored VWAP down into 35, okay, which is previous day close. So the top of that Bollinger Band and the top of that gap fill that we talked about on the QQQ, all right, I said I expect this to get filled, and then we have to see. We filled it and we are failing. This is what I called out for the last week. I expect the market to be efficient and fill this, but we don't know what it wants to do next. Michael, the shorts are there if you want to take them, okay? I missed my best entry on the short, so I'm just being patient now. You must trade what is in front of you. If you like these setups, all you have to do is follow the flow zones. If you like the short setup, feel free to take it. But remember now you're shorting at low of day near the full gap fill. Best short for me, which I missed, was right up here. All right. This retest of the H1 would have been very, very nice. Now I'm just waiting because now we've dumped 25 points on the ES, 150, 180 points on the NQ. Personally, I'm not interested in shorting low of day. I don't mind if it wants to pump up and I can take a short on that move, but I'm not going to short low of day. ES cannot get down to that 800 mark. We are approaching on the Qs, on the NQ, very, very quickly approaching that previous day high and the higher time frame algo. So how do we approach it? What happens? Remember, we talked about it. Definitely talked about it at the beginning of the stream, and I talked about it in the room. If it wants to reprice all the way down to here on the H1, it can. This is where structure is. This is thin. There is nothing going on here. So once it let go of this blue box, we knew it would be drawn towards where structure is, which is what's currently happening. Very easy to get FOMO here and chase in and get your face ripped off. So please don't do that. So watching the initial balance here, does it retest this and fail, or do we start to have some form of failed auction and go for back upside? Remember, there's a still low hanging fruit beneath us. These levels are low hanging fruit. It hasn't taken the liquidity from previous day high. ES has not come and tested 5,800. Thank you, Aaron. Means a lot. No worries, Michael. Just takes a bit of time. No reason to force. There's no reason to force yourself on the market. This is what I said to you, Fig, when you were like, I'm going to buy the next red candle. And I said to you, it can just keep trading down. There was no signal for you to take that. The first buy signal right now will be if we reclaim IB and we start to put in bullish structure to come and clean this out. That will be the first buy signal. There still has not been one. Very clear when I say wait, I want to join on effectively a right shoulder or a reason to go long. I don't want to join when the market is just dumping down. It's a good back test here on ES. So it failed to get to that 800 and it is trading inside its initial balance. Now, can we do the same here? All right, can this become a failed auction? That's the question I'm posing. If it does, these become key levels because we can do something like this and clean all this out. And then this will be a nice back test. Remember, this is where we broke down from on an H1. So that's why I've marked it out with the white line. So will be key levels to trade back to if we're going to do that. Remember, this can still just be a pullback leg on the H1 and the daily. I know it's big, I know it's violent, but it can just be a pullback leg. So do we start to turn and burn here? Can we turn these flow zones into bullish momentum? Can we reclaim the initial balance and hold inside it? VIX failing after clearing out. So VIX hit 1570, now trading back downside inside range to 1550. Looks like it wants to retest the previous day high where the breakout traders were. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. This red line down here, if it wanted to do that, this is low hanging fruit trade, but really you'd want to see it have done this move here, and it's not doing that. Ideally you'd want to see it fail the initial balance. This now looks like it can be a return back inside on a squeeze, doesn't it? This is a good move up through the initial balance. So far failed auction here. ES trading back towards VWAP. All right, that high on that recent push came into 13. VWAP is at 15, so only 2 points away from VWAP. If it starts to reclaim here, all right, if shorts have got trapped here and they haven't understood that this can potentially just be the higher time frame pullback, all right, think about the legs and the swing points. Even we can do it here. Breakout, okay, there's a little bit here, but this is a back test. So if this finishes the pullback, we expect a retest of this region. If we get through this, we expect continuation. Right, that's why you can't be shorting into these levels, right? You don't short into and around demand. We don't short here because we get caught. It's the same thesis. Respect the higher time frame. The more you can look at the higher time frame, the better it's going to be for you, because you're going to at least be trading in good zones, all right? You want to trade, effectively you want to look for buy patterns in and around demand, and you want to look for sell patterns in and around supply. The issue you have when we're making all-time highs on the ES is there's no supply, so it's very hard to time that rollover. There you go, Fig. ES bouncing off a buy zone. Yes, it was traded back in towards 800. We kept talking about that. Look at yesterday's stream and the day before. I'd constantly said if the ES can get above 5,800, tech will be much stronger. We have the potential upside move, and that's what we got overnight. Coop, I used to be a FOMO trader or try and catch the knife, but Alex's course changed that for me. That's amazing. Thank you. Fig, I think, I'm just going to be very honest with you, I think you're gambling. All right, how you've talked this morning doesn't sound like strategies, trying to just long on a candle when we're in a downtrend. And you're gambling because you're just saying that you're playing with your profits from Forex last night. If you keep playing with profits that you've made and you end up keep giving it back, it will be a problem. All right, so take trade setups that are real setups. Make sure you have a strategy. So I'm interested here in this pullback. All right, does this hold into this 50% and this IB low? If we start to hold it, it has potential upside. If not, then it's just going to be a bear flag and have continuation down to this low hanging fruit. This is your low hanging fruit. All right, so either we come and smash all this out, or we start to trade upside. Slight divergence just in where the IBs are, okay? IB is pretty much low of the day on ES. It is not on the NQ, but we have just reflushed it. So maybe a new attempt at taking out these levels and approaching the key levels, which would mean ES might want to trade back down to 800. Previous day value area high. I have previous day value area high for me right down at 250. Don't know if that lines up with you, South Cad Dad, but that's what I have on an hourly chart. Way down at 250. Nice, Sam. Took the short there on the retest. Yeah, so basically this flow zone short, you took it for the move down. That's fine as long as it's within your strategy. I don't like taking shorts above the initial balance. All right, I would much rather these start to follow down and we get this move and then we attack this. This isn't leaving great risk reward now, unfortunately. It would have been really good if we printed the IB up here and we left this move. Market will do whatever it wants. We don't always get the best risk reward on the table for us. Continue that down. I'm going to remove this lower one. Okay, so again, shorts need a break of structure down here. They need to see a break of structure to go and attack these key levels. Otherwise, we are going to get a W type move. If we get up here, I will consider a long for the rotation. So SouthCAD, do you have your previous day value area high where I have it? Is it down at 250? I use an hourly to look for my levels, so maybe yours is slightly different. ES still trading inside of the initial balance. It's very, very unfortunate that they decided to do this move overnight. Or what's more unfortunate is that I didn't take it, having known it was a high probability of happening. Possible microstructure here for breakdown coming, all right? Rejection of IB low there for now. You have divergence. You do not have ES outside that IB low, but potential flush moment coming down towards previous day high. Especially if ES breaks down underneath its IB low. I'm not in anything right now. We are not in alignment. I know what I'm looking for and I'm going to wait for it. Scott, the 50 daily body from Friday's daily candle strikes again. Oh, 50% you mean? So the fib of the previous day. Or of the current day, I'm guessing you're talking about, of the big push up. Yeah. This is a battle here because if shorts get stuck and they don't get the break of structure and we start to reclaim, you will get the W. If you don't get the W, you're going to get just a bear flag, all right? This will trigger the stops right here, which will line up very nicely. From Friday's down candle, roger that. SouthCAD, you're trading the Qs. Okay, you're trading the ETFs. So when you were looking at value area high, you were judging on the ETFs. I understand. So looking a little trappy here, isn't it? If it can get a change of character to this upside, we will get that W play. You have to be very, very careful here, okay? It can still be very, very nasty, okay? But I will be thinking about a long from here to take this out, this out, this out. I really want my flow zones to support the move though. I want to know that shorts are trapped at the lows. Watching ES. ES is reclaimed its IBL, trading back inside. Would love to see the ES get through VWAP. I'd love to see a really nice timing here, and I want to see the VIX continue to reject 1550. If we can get a good rejection on the VIX, trade back into that old gap, come back down towards 1520 and below, maybe we can put the squeeze on. Have to be careful here because we are in momentum downside. All right, I'm looking for a higher time frame pullback to finish for upside, but we are in momentum downside. You cannot be early. It will absolutely destroy you. So retest 1550 here on the VIX. Here is the flush. So it looks like now it cannot complete that move. All right, so we didn't get the break to the upside up here. It's coming to retest this low. If it snaps this, I expect it to come straight down into here. All right, this is where liquidity is sat. If it snaps that, we have daily open and close levels all the way down here and the 5-day moving average, and this is an anchored VWAP. So lots of targets for it to want to run towards. So there's your breaker structure, here's your downside pressure. $5,800 still looming, very, very close now on the ES. His previous day high and the higher time frame algo. So if you got short in that, these should be partial cover points into and around these levels. Momentum is down. Like I said, I was waiting for a potential squeeze, which has not happened. You do not have to take the same trades as me, guys. That is offering you plenty of downside pressure. We are failing the IB low here. If we're going to have trend day against this, we have more room. You are in trend day down until it says otherwise. The only thing that's worrying me is the ES not doing the same move. Nice candy cane, good work. Got that short for the bear flag move down off the flow zones. Great work. Just make sure you're taking profit. We're coming into areas where higher time frame buyers might want to step up. All right, so I'd say it's fairly big, but this area here, you have previous day high, higher time frame algo, anchored VWAP, previous day open, previous day close, 5-day moving average. This is a mean reversion that the market loves to do off the top Bollinger. I would not be looking for short below that. Very unlikely it gives much room below that today. That would be maximum profit for me. That would mean it's done a full mean reversion through that. If we started to fail, it might want to do a back test of the 20-day, which would take it right inside range. If we start doing that, I would start to think that the highs on the Qs are in for the year. Big statement, I know, but that's how I feel about the market. So these are your levels now, here to here. We're ignoring this. This is just internal. This is the high that created this low. Amazing how easy it is for the market to give everything back when it does the move overnight. So we just came and tested on the QQQ. We literally did tap to tap for that closing price of the after hours, right? 488.07. That was the after hours closing price. True closing price for settlement will take you down to 486.74 for those watching the QQQ. Am I selling? No, I'm not selling anything right now. It's in a sell, but I'm not selling. It's in a trend down. I'm not in this. It is looking very, very good though, isn't it? Lovely, Scott. Good work. Just remember, if you're in these shorts, please take some partials into these higher time frame levels we're looking at. All right, there's your new break of structure here. You must respect the higher time frame. Take some partials into these levels I keep talking about. At some point, you might have buyers step in, and I do not want you to be trapped in these levels. So this will be your new lower time frame change of character. All right, do it as green. Okay, into the higher time frame algo, approaching the next anchored VWAP and previous day open, previous day close. Future Frank watched people blow their accounts. What, trying to long it, do you mean? In another room or something? There's no long setup here, all right? We are trend down. Everything's trend down. Until it proves otherwise, you either stick with shorts or you stay flat. So higher time frame algo, this will be first cover point here with previous day high. Then the anchored VWAP, then the previous day open and closes. Yes, from earlier this morning. Oh dear, oh dear. Not surprising. Well, that's it, Coop. Unfortunately, like we talked about, you cannot guess bottoms. Cannot guess bottoms. Easiest way to blow up your account is to guess tops and guess bottoms. You have to just play the momentum in front of you. Currently, we are in downside momentum. I said what I was looking for upside. It would be up here. All right, for a breakout up here. It hasn't happened, so there's no trade to take for an upside move. You just follow it. Trend bearish, trending down, red lines. You're in sells. And you're covering into these levels. I don't like the sell now. I'm going to say it right now. Even though potentially it comes down here, I think your risk reward starts to get a bit skewed here. Okay, because these are big higher time frame levels. Look at the H1. Where have we traded back into? Breakout, retest. If we start failing this and doing this, that's a whole different ball game. If this was their exit and now we want to really come and rotate to these lows down here, then we can think about rejoining on sells on higher time frames. But so far, no buyers stepped in. So it looked like they got their exit. It looked like they got their exit. So it just depends. What do we do at settlement? Are there bids at settlement, or is this game over on the market? Right? Was this one last pump to all-time highs? QQQ fill that gap efficiently and game over. We will find out in the next few days, I'm sure. Practicing drawing the fibs that I learned from the course, from the top pivots and the price pulls to premium before dropping again. Yeah. Yeah, we would like, even if you're convinced of a short now, there's only two things it can really do. It either gives this move or it gives this move. You don't want to just take breakout shorts here, in my opinion. Coming into major levels on dailies and hourlies right now. We don't know how far it can go down. I mean, it can just keep flushing. It seems to just want to move down today. Seems to have had an exit for everyone, which is amazing. Maybe it comes and takes out previous day low. Who knows? That would be a wild move. I've got to move you back to lower time frames. Sorry, team. Always remind me if I don't move you back. Okay, I often forget to do that with the keys. Just let me know if I forget to do that at any point in time. Okay, so that was your previous day close tag on the QQQ as well through settlement. So do they see some relief here, or do we get further downside? I'm going to remove this anchored VWAP now. We've traded through it, so I'm less interested in this right now. Trading V playing up. There we go. Right. Oh, so this isn't adding up with Ninja, interestingly. So this is the open close I have on TradingView. On Ninja, says we've traded into it. So as always, Ninja does its bars differently. Really stupid. I don't know why they have to be the only system that does its open and closes abnormally. Really bizarre that they do that. Kovper, no more shorts. So it doesn't mean no more shorts. It just, like, I'm not telling you to buy. It just means that we are into areas where you are likely to see some cover points. Look, the market, if the market wants to be disgusting today and come and take out all of this, it can. but you are into areas of potential demand here, right? So resistance, 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 breakout, pullback. We expect some covering in here. So I don't like a short in here. A short back up here is fine, or a short on a breakdown retest is fine. But if you're just shorting in here into demand, right, you might get pushed out very, very quickly. That's all I'm saying. The best shorts happened when we broke down of here. Unfortunately, like I talked about, I missed that retest. I didn't think we got it. Obviously mapped it out slightly wrong, because we did in fact get that retest right here into 460 at 938. That was the short to take, and I missed it. So I've been sat on my hands since. Often what I do when I know I've missed something big, I have to sit on my hands, otherwise I know I'm going to chase and do something stupid. Point of control on the H1. Yes, previous point of control. I have that 183. Yeah, 183. Somewhere around there. So ES just slammed straight through that 5,800. No one turning up there. It is now trading towards its 5-day moving average. So a full mean reversion off the top Bollinger Band in the space of an hour and 30 minutes. Absolutely insane. But that is the market we are in. Yeah, Scott, top of the bodies, yeah, on the dailies. Nasty, nasty move for anyone who did not follow the Bollingers and started buying high of day today. They are in big, big trouble. You do not buy into the top range on Bollinger Bands on the daily. It is the easiest way to get absolutely messed up. Same with shorts. You don't short the bottom range on the lower Bollingers on a daily. But we are still in trend down here. We're still in trend down. Hopefully some of you got that short. I didn't get it. I really hope some of you got it. Amazing, amazing trade. Right, into the daily levels here, the daily levels. VIX now trying for a new breakout. Still no longs here, guys. You should just be in this short, taking partials. We are in trend down. Do not fight this. Do not fight this. Yes, VIX is pumping. VIX now breaking out of that level we talked about. All right, so the next level for VIX to clear is 1587, and then it has a good runway to come and test 1666. The market will absolutely dump if it tries to do that move. Should just be in sells here. So into settlement prices on the futures. We're already well through settlement prices on the ETFs. $15.80 approach now on the VIX. This is going to add pressure on the market if it breaks out. Look at your higher time frames. This is a straight dump of the Asia-London range. All of this thin action, we are straight through it and down to underside into yesterday's price action now. This is a very weak market. This was a pump to dump. Ideally, though, we get some form of retracement to get short in. I do not just want to chase the market down. Right into those daily levels, like I said, please don't short down here. You're asking to get trapped. The shorts have happened. You should be covering positions, holding runners. Maybe Frank, but I would not be looking for shorts right here into it. Okay, look at the hourly charts. We're into deep pullback territory. We are into breakout territories. There's going to be a bounce at some point where shorts intraday start to cover positions and potentially higher time frame traders come in. You don't want to be short into low of day. Just cleaning up my charts now because we've torn through a lot of levels. Do we get an upside squeeze through this to come and retest maybe the previous day high? All right, maybe the IB low, or do we just keep trending down towards this 5-day? Lots of questions, but there is no upside move yet, as in there's no reason to go long yet. Look at the trend. Lower time frame, bearish. High time frame, bearish. All of this is stacking to the downside. Until it gives a reason to go higher, it won't go higher. Bulls are absolutely getting murdered today. Remember that. Think about how many bulls tried to buy, and got murdered. The same way overnight, exactly the same way overnight, where shorts tried to short all night long, short, got murdered. Now we come back. All right, Max Pain, theory of Max Pain. Something is definitely up with my computer today. It's moving a little bit slower. Okay, so this is starting to look a bit better. The question is, where do they stop this squeeze up now? See what I mean about the daily levels? We came into previous day open, previous day close, and we found a bid there. You have to
Target filled.
Respect those. So I'm in for a squeeze up here, just a scalp. Which is why I took profit very quick, because I do not know if this is going to slam down now. So I have a very small runner left. Moving stop break even. I'm not willing to see this come back down on me. This is a counter trend play. It is early, but the moment we started to break this structure here, I felt like a potential squeeze up was good. So this right here, this felt like manipulation into the low. Now I'm looking for this. So I took a partial into here, my stops break even. Now I'm wondering if we do this. I haven't left myself many runners to play around with to take profits into here. Very aware that this can slam on my face, and it's counter trend. This is an aggressive counter trend move. Taking a little bit more off there. All right, my stop is break even. I'm just going to leave one micro on here. Very willing for this just to fail. That's absolutely fine for a trend down. Ideally, we come and back test into 300, 86, possible 315, maybe into the initial balance. All right. So ideally, I get my runner off somewhere up there, and then I can think about if it's going to fail the initial balance, do I want to get short? Or are we finished with the shorts for the day? Is this H1, okay, is the H1 finished its pullback? Remember, this is the pattern we did. This could be a pullback and still go higher. It sounds ridiculous, but on a daily and an hourly chart, that is still possible. I know the momentum today is bearish, but that's why I'd never want to get short into areas where I think higher time frame buyers can step up. It's the only reason, guys, I didn't get any of these shorts here. All right, I missed that short up here. This was a great short, a back test of the hourly breakdown. So this white line is effectively the breakdown. If you go to, you're still on it. Okay, this blue box here, which I've marked where it was demand but buyers got trapped above it. If you go to a lower time frame, that's effectively this white line. So we tested back, we failed it. I missed this trigger. This was my trigger short, and so I missed this move down. I'm now in this long looking for a pushback into these levels. So I'm interested in the reaction here into 95 or 86, 300, the psychological level, and into the initial balance low. All right. That's what I'm holding a partial for. I'm watching the VIX, which just failed as well. So timing this pretty well. Did not pick the bottom. I waited for this to move, and I took, you would have heard me, I took profit very quickly because it could have very easily failed, and now I'm just holding my runners. Already up very nicely on this trade. This definitely felt like manipulation to me. This is why I felt good about it. It needed to tag until settlement. Once we got through that, I felt like a squeeze was probable to here at the very minimum, and maybe here, and then we will see what we get. Same way buyers got trapped at the highs, shorts got trapped at the lows. I kept saying it on stream, please don't short into higher time frame levels. Hopefully, loads of you made a ton of money this morning on that move down, because I didn't, but I hope you all did. And I hope you got your partials off into those key levels. I don't want a deep pullback here for my runner, okay? I really don't. I will take it off as soon as I start to see weakness, even though it can really go for me. I'm not interested, it's just a runner. Why hasn't Bitcoin followed suit? I will need to check the chart on Bitcoin. Bear with me. But normally Bitcoin will do the... do you mean, has Bitcoin not sold off? Let me have a look. Bitcoin's sitting at 64,568 right now. Let me manage this trade and then I will have a look. Okay, but normally it might be that it's becoming a hedge versus the dollar, a bit like gold. Kovper, that's fine. Tried to take a short trade and got stopped out for a little loss. That's good. That's good trading. You got stopped out for a little loss, not a big loss. That is good trading. Aaron, yes, you can set up alerts on the indicators. DiCaprio, lovely work. Great work. What's the VIX telling me? It's trading back inside the initial balance. That's what it's telling me right now. So if it keeps failing and trading down, then there's more upside potential for this market. All right, intraday, this is a counter trend move up. Maybe the H1 just wants to rebalance, come and test back up into 350, something like that. All right, maybe the H1 wants to do a back test. We don't know now. This is where it gets tricky, right? Demand is here, supply is here. Does it want to come and back test all the way? Is it just going to back test the edge of this to go lower? Are we going to fail here at the flow zones and make new lows? All right, was this just a relief bounce? I'm getting very close to taking my runner off here. Biggest buyer on the book is just under 20,025. He's sat there. Okay, so everyone new in this stream's getting bigger and bigger every day. It's amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. Please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the stream and have any questions about what you're looking at, type it in chat. I will try and help you. I'm sure there are lots of other people in the chat who can also help you. ES coming back for downside retest on a daily level. Mag 7 now. Apple green, Microsoft red, Amazon red, Google green, Meta red, Nvidia green, Tesla red. All right, so amazing to see that Apple started off the day red, had relative weakness, pulled the market down, and is one of the only ones green on the day. Incredible. Blue one account still have one more. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what you did or why you did it. Activate. Seems like you enjoy fighting the trend, same as yesterday. Yesterday you were short when we were trying to move up. Today I'm guessing you were long when we were trying to move down. VIX reapproaching into initial balance high. Any flush here and I will take my runner off. I've only got one left. All right, so I made a good money on that move up, about 50 points. Let's move you back into the right time frame. Again, I've forgotten, so about 50 points from 30 up to 90. Yeah, pretty good. So if this can curl and hold, all right, I will stay with this, but I don't want to see it come back into here. I'm not interested in it coming back into there. Even though structure-wise it can make sense, because it's a runner, I'm really not interested in giving too much back. I'd much rather see this hold now. All right, so I'm almost taken out here. I've got my stop in. Into daily levels, right next to my stop, literally on me. I swear it tapped me there and didn't take me out. If this goes up, it would be amazing. Rhythmic fills for you. This would be amazing. It literally tapped me and I didn't get a fill, which is fantastic if we're going to go upside. You were fighting the trend up at 3 a.m. Why? Why were you doing that, Activate? I couldn't have been more clear yesterday that the market wanted upside. The easiest move was upside. I've only seen you in stream a number of times, but I can already tell you are a trader that loves to fight the trend. When we're going up, you are trying shorts. When we're going down, you are trying longs. I've seen it time and time again. You need to fix that, okay? You need to fix that if you are going to survive in the markets. You're not bigger or better than the market. The market will do what it wants. Yes, DiCaprio, exactly. We filled the gap. We came back down to settlement price. And the Qs are trading back upside well above that gap. So I am long currently. But just with a runner, I'll have much more conviction. Okay, maybe now we can trade back up to here. All right, so I'm long from here. Right, this move here, I partialed out. I have my stop there, it didn't take me out. If we can get back upside, maybe I'll consider ads. But where I'd really like is if we do a very dirty move above here for upside squeeze pressure. But I'm not convinced on anything right now. Everything I am assuming right now is now a move on the hourly for more shorts to get involved, just because it was so big. If we get a V-shaped recovery, that's different, all right? So we've got a ton of liquidity here. I'm going to respect this, and I expect them to sell against that. Okay, and maybe then we get another move. If we get through this and use this, then we have targets. All of this as well, trend line liquidity. Everyone who shorted all the way down and got very good move, that's where their stops are. Does all of that make sense? Everyone understanding? Do I only play micros? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I don't think you need minis in these markets. Right, really don't think you need minis in this market. Very easy to oversize. I'm not taking like 10-point trades though, guys. I'm looking for 50 to 100-point trades most of the time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 micros, if I'm adding into a winner, is more than enough. Yeah, if you take a mini in this market, we talked about the ATR today per candle was likely to be bigger. If you have to risk 50, 60 points to a swing point, all right, let's say this pullback here from 90 down to 40, 50 points. All right, if I have to risk 50 points, that is painful to sit through if you're playing minis. It's $1,000 right there that I have to sit through, let it pull back. $1,000. Not very nice to do. If you are on Apex, you cannot do that. You cannot allow the market to give you that much profit and pull back that much. Whereas with micros, you can give it time. Okay, this is going to be key now, how we react here. You can see it is trying to base out here, but it can very, very easily trap buyers and come and slam back down. My stop is still in the same position. All right, not moved my stop up. It's just a runner here. But I think the easiest, honestly, and I've talked about this a few times, I tweeted a guy about it yesterday. The easiest way to lose money in this market is to oversize. When it's offering 500 points of range, you don't need 3 or 4 minis, right? So reposition short, Scott, that's fine. If you're following this for a short, just be careful though, all right? A break of this will cause a squeeze. So it's fine to be short here. The trend is bearish. That's absolutely fine. Momentum is downside. Just make sure you respect these levels. Partials into here in case buyers show up. Hold the runner, break of structure for further downside, all right? Even though what I'm showing here, if you're an ES, exactly the same thing. That's absolutely fine. Like I said, I'm counter trend long just for that squeeze up. I'm about to get stopped out again. It's tapping me again, but it's just a run out, I'm out. All right, so I locked in there, right there. So yeah, like I was saying, very easy to oversize if you're going to use minis. I honestly, truly believe 2 to 5 micros in this market, taking good trades which offer 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 points is more than enough. And you will be a better trader because you will let your winners work, right? You will play structure better. If you are playing minis, it's much more likely that you are scalping 5, 10 points here or there, here or there, here or there, and you're going to get into bad habits. Just be careful of this here, Scott, because this is where they flipped it. If you get a reaction here and they want to bull flag this and go, they're going to try and come for this liquidity here. I don't know what it's going to do here. They might use it as supply. They might come through it and use it as a way of moving upside. But just respect this structure down here. This is where we found buyers step in. Yeah, good. Great work, Scott. Took the partial at the low. That's my guy. Well done, dude. Exactly what to do. I might stay around a bit longer today because this market is trending. We'll see what we get. Yeah, daily level, exactly. You've got the 5-day and another daily level looming underneath at 780. Yeah, so if the ES really wants to snap, it might want to trade down towards those levels. Absolutely it can. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone in stream following what we're looking at. What happens when it hits daily lows? You mean previous low of day? You mean all the way down here? Well, there's probably a lot of buyers stops here. So if it came to there, all right, it might wash and snap back. Depends what they want to do with it for the rest of the day. It could equally just use that and just keep going down, all right? It can just keep going down, but I would say a lot of buyers stops will be at the previous day low, the same as they were here, previous day open, previous day close. Okay, be very cautious here if we start to pivot up. All right, be very cautious here if we start to pivot up. If you say so, Fig. If you say so. Looks like the 22nd of August. Let me look. Yeah, so that big pullback day, I would say the difference is we extended further in this session. Yeah, so the difference is if we close weak today, who is it that said that? Mitch? If we close weak today, look at what the doji will look like and look where we're trading back into. On that 22nd, all right, we had a very weak push up into old supply, which was created in July the 22nd, 23rd, and 19th, and we failed downside and then created a new base. This is slightly different. All right, it will have a slightly different look to it. Just consolidating here though. All right, so the question is, are we going to do new leg down? All right, is this redistribution to move down? Do they need to take this out? Do they want to back test the 5-day? Do they want to back test the previous day low? Trend is in a down. All right, so I took this long for the squeeze up to here, took partials because I didn't know if it would stop at this block or if we would get there. That long's gone now. No reason for me to now take the market in any position. Thanks DiCaprio. Yeah, that would be ideal. It would be great. We will see. I never knew whether this channel would do well or not. I just wanted to share advice that I have with friends, and then it started to grow naturally once I started to stream. 16.7 gap fill. Let's have a look for you. On the Qs, are you looking at? Sixteenth, 7th. Here, we already did it. This is what we already did, Mitch. So this is what I was talking about. Do you remember when I said the market is efficient and I expect it to fill this? And I also had a feeling that the top on the year was already in, right? So if the market's job was just to fill this, and then the market is going to start to have stagflation, this is what I'd be very, very worried about. All right, as they sell the dollar, hedge gold, let everyone out, everyone's made their money, they got their exit. If we start to see this move set up over the Q4, I would be very, very concerned. Historically, we're really bullish into elections, but let me change this back. But if you look at every time we have done quantitative easing, within 2 weeks, we go into a recession. So I think we're at 1 week today, Wednesday, we had FOMC a week ago, we're at 1 week today. So in the next week or two, it's highly likely you get downside pressure. September historically as well, in a seasonal point of view, is a sell. We never close up in September. But again, we have so much going against each other in the market right now. So you've got election, which is historically bullish. You've got seasonality September, which is historically in a sell. You've got quantitative easing, which is historically a sell, not a buy, as people think. It's normally priced in and we sell. So there's lots going on there. And then, of course, you've got the two wars. So anyone who's following yesterday would see Putin started to threaten with nuclear power yesterday, posturing. You've got increased tensions still going on now with Hezbollah as well. So does Iran get involved in that? Does that become a bigger battle? How does America respond to that? There's so many things right now which are just like flip of a coins that it's very hard to say what the market wants to do. My gut feeling has maintained the whole time. ES would make a new high, all-time high. QQQ would fill the gap like it has today, and then potentially that could be the end of this market. There's nothing to say it's happened yet. I know we filled the gap and we made all-time highs, but we're not in a bearish market yet. All right, so that was always potential. It was always what I've been saying the last few weeks, macro point of view, I'd be very, very concerned about. Same time, you've got gold making all-time highs constantly. That is the hedge against the dollar. The DXY, nice bounce today, but still so weak, and it's being made to look okay because the other currencies are also weak. Right, who was it that asked about Bitcoin? I will have a quick look for you. Move this into a daily. Right, Bitcoin, you're still just in a range. Okay, it is building a giant flag here. This was your reprice into here, where buyer stepped in. This is your sweep, reprice in. Potentially, it can do a W. A break of this, it will want to run the liquidity to the upside. All right, so it seems like they might start running this. If you see weakness in the market, maybe we start running this up. All right, especially in the dollar. If they hedge into this like they are in gold against the dollar, you might get that move up. All right, if you look at the gold right now, all-time highs. All right, you can see where I was interested in buying for the extension. I left that fib in, and we're still moving all-time highs, just hugging 5-day back to 20-day, 5-day up for an extension. Exactly the same as I teach on every market. It's the same concept, guys. Everything you're learning here will work with every single market. It is just how the market likes to operate. So same thing here. Does this build out a flag, or is it going to make a snap down into this? At the moment, it feels like shorts may be a little bit exhausted, but we will see. I'm not picking bottoms. I've had the long that I needed. I made good money on that move. Did I start trading with small caps? I didn't start there, but I spent quite a bit of time there trading small caps, mainly short side on small caps rather than long side. Especially during COVID era. Fig, you got your girlfriend to start trading. She likes Heikin-Ashi candles. She said they're easy to follow structure. I would say Heikin-Ashi candles are less structure based and they are more momentum based. All right, if you study Heikin-Ashi, they are all about momentum. So they won't show you a true opening and close. So important that you understand the difference. Am I blurry on everyone's screens? Me personally, or is the screen blurry? DiCaprio streaming the best way to grow an audience. Yeah, maybe. We will see in time. But yeah, I did trade a lot with small caps. Oh, it's my webcam. Yeah, that happens if I move out a picture, I think. Yeah, I got my ass handed to me with small caps a little bit. I got caught in a few squeezes back in the day. I'm trying to think of the tickers. MOXC on a swing short. That definitely burnt me. Normally Chinese tickers. Heavily manipulated tickers. Where I would get caught in halt ups and stuff. But it was good fun. Learned a lot. Wish I knew what I know now back then. Would have traded them very differently. El Medi, what are my indicators? It's custom indicator, buddy. This is my flow zone indicator. So you can only get this if you join my room and do the course. Other than that, the green line is VWAP. This is your 5-day moving average. And the purple, This is an anchored view up. And this is a 20-day moving average. Not a 20 SMA moving average, a 20-day moving average on my lower time frame chart. There is a big difference. Futures Frank, you are considering a long from 20,192 bottom side of the range. I mean, I think if it comes down there, it probably snaps it. If it gets down there, it probably runs the stops first. I would guess. I could easily be wrong, but I would guess that's what it would want to do if it got down there. Yeah, that's an easy way to get clapped, man. Shorting a 1 million float, small float where they probably hold 80-90% of it, and then you get absolutely dominated as they halt it up 10 times in the space of an hour and a half. They love to do that. There were some absolute monster movers in the last 12 months. Saw something, I can't remember the ticker again, it was a Chinese stock, I think, or moved from like 30 cents to I think it was like 1,500 in 48 hours before giving it all back. How this stuff's allowed to go on is beyond me. If you want to watch a good film on how this all started, it used to be on Netflix, might not be on there anymore, but there's a great documentary film called The Chinese Hustle. And you can see the guy who started bringing these Chinese stocks to the American markets, like the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq, and how he quickly realized he was about to destroy a lot of people's lives and make some fraudsters in China very rich. Really great film. He now campaigns to try and get these stocks removed from the markets. So it looks like it's going to retest here. It wants to potentially retest. I would say if it does this, if they don't step in here, then we likely wash, okay? And then we can think about maybe that, or maybe just trend down. I'm not looking for a long right now, and I'm definitely not looking for a short in higher time frame levels. It might be that I got my trade today and I missed the big one last night and the big one this morning, and that is just trading. But on one account, I'm up just under $800. Not bad for trading on stream where I'm not linking all my accounts. If I link them all, it would be a really good day, wouldn't it? But I keep making errors, all right? And I'm going to say it until I sort out my hotkeys. One of the common things I keep doing is when I'm drawing for you on here, I like to press Control Z numerous times to get rid of the drawing. And if I'm on Ninja and I press Control Z without realizing, it makes a, what's it called? OCO, one cancels other order. And if I don't realize, I can then get stuck in a trade where I can't get my partial off, and it becomes a problem very, very quickly. So I really need to try and figure that out. Maybe I need to change the OCO shortcut on Ninja. It's probably the best thing to do. But yeah, I've noticed a few issues with that. Same for me using shortcuts on OBS. Yeah, that's what I need to do, Coop. I need to turn it off. I need to turn it off. Once I do that, I will start linking everything together. Yeah, exactly. It's really annoying if you don't notice the OCO order come in and then you start not filling limits, or you start not filling like your markets, you get those rejection errors coming up. It gets quite stressful, especially if you're linked with 10, 15, 20 accounts and it repeats that message, and before you know it, you have not been able to get out of the trade. So I need to fix that. Don trades gold. What trade did I miss this morning? Okay, I will show you the trade I missed. So I talked about this in the room and I will show you. On the higher time frame, this blue box here was potential demand. What I wanted to see was either a trade below, a reclaim and a trade up, or a trade below and a retest of it and a trade down to this blue box. Right, this blue box, both these blue boxes have been in the whole time. This has not just been put in, they were in early. What I missed was on the lower time frame, we actually did the move I was looking for and I missed it. Probably because I didn't put the blue box in on here. So right here, I think it was 1038 here. This level here, where we've traded through the lower time frame algo, back tested it. This level here is the edge of that blue box. This was the first rejection. This was an easy short here, risking hardly anything for a potential trade down, risk reward wise, to, where do we come down to? 61 here. So this trade here was a monster RR trade that I missed. Once I realized I missed it, I could feel a little bit of tilt come in, so I didn't take anything. So this right here, risking that to here, I'm gonna make myself be sick in a second, was a 14.15R trade. So basically from, even if you called it late and you took the breakdown, let's just say call it late from 4:30. All right, it's a 200-point trade. That's what I missed. Once I realized I missed that, the only thing to do was sit on my hands, because I did not want to chase. I did not want to oversize. I know my triggers, right? Missing a big trade like that for me can easily be a trigger. So I had to sit tight. And then I didn't take this rejection here on the initial balance because I was worried about the bounce back into higher time frame levels not having the same risk reward. So there you go, there's the honesty, that's what I missed. Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, indeed. All right, I think we talked about it on, let's see. See if I can find it. Yeah, so on stream we were, in the room we were talking about the rejection of the top Bollinger Band and the gap fill, that we don't want to be buying up there. And then we talked about a back test of the levels and if those fail. Your price is different. Are you on M&Q or something like that? Okay, that's either you've got like a 3-second delay or something, or there's just a slight difference between M&Q and QQQ. All right, this looks like it might want to try and squeeze out here. Still very tight. Potentially we're trying to reclaim here. Potentially we are holding this level here, and potentially it wants to come and back test where we broke down from. So we had a drop, base, drop. Can we come and test this base? That's the question. If we reclaim it, potential upside. But you must respect it if we trade into it. Aaron, thanks for coming back to that. For coming back to which one? Yeah, sorry guys, if there's a 6-second delay, I have got it down to as small as I can go. If I could get it down to no seconds, if anyone knows a way of doing that on YouTube, I will happily do it. It's not delayed because I want it delayed. I've got it on every ultra low feature. Myself and Coop have gone through various videos to try and get the latency as low as possible. If anyone knows a way of getting it lower, please feel free to share it with me. I'm not doing it delayed for my own benefit. It's just the fastest I can get it. Oh, for Bitcoin, no problem, no problem. Okay, bear with me. All right, I'm going to be right back. I need a drink and I need a pee. Catch you in a minute. Okay, nothing changed here. Starting to consolidate 15 minutes into lunch, or just over that, into lunch and a new hourly bar. I'm really interested how this hourly bar closes actually, because it's at quite a key area. All right, so on the higher time frame, my hourly bar is holding my deep pullback flow zones. It's trading inside the initial balance and is coming and testing this old area of resistance where we failed from. If we can get through that, maybe we test the value area low into 350. If it wants to be really nasty and turn the squeeze on, maybe it does. Who knows, guys? This market is a little bit wild right now while they position themselves. Yes, trying to attempt a push into that initial balance low. It has failed to close, sorry, wrong line, into previous day high. It's failed to close above that previous day high for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. Catching up with chat while I've been away. Yes, same for everyone on YouTube with the delay. So it sounds like that's just how it is. Unfortunately, it's frustrating. I don't know if there's a way of getting it better. So coming into deep pullback, we look like we're trying to curl here, all right? A trigger through 93/300 might trigger a bit of a squeeze up, all right? Might trigger a bit of a squeeze up. Love to get long today for a reprice, but it's kind of hard to do that now in terms of structure. But it looks like it wants to go here. It's very tempting. VIX now starting to fail. ES back at that previous day high. Back at previous day high on the ES. That's that 5,800 level, all right? So 5,800 on ES, again, remains key. It's been key the whole time for the move up overnight, for the pullback in, and for the retest now. Can it get through 5,800 for potential squeeze up, or are we just going to keep rejecting over and over and over again on it? At what point have shorts said enough is enough? At what point do higher time frame buyers come in? Now, I'm in this long right here, taking partial very quickly. This is counter trend. If it wants to fail, it will fail, all right? So it's counter trend on the day, but it's pro trend on higher time frames. Notice it's trying to print a buy here, but it hasn't come back in. I've stopped out on the runner straight away. So just a scalp trade there for me. Yes, target, Scott. I would love for a run up into that, into these levels here. All right, these kind of levels here. Sorry about that, guys. These levels here. So I'd love to see something like this, all right? But I tried to get this squeeze out. I took partial straight away. But when I'm counter trend, I'm very, very aggressive. It either goes or it doesn't. Can still do the move. But I want to be careful if it's just building liquidity to do this. This is what I'm concerned about, which is why I'm aggressive with the partials for these moves, because it is early and we are coming into low liquidity levels. Maybe it gives me a re-entry here. That'd be nice. Cannot get through 5,800 on ES. I'm going to sound like I sounded yesterday. If ES gets through 5,800, I have more conviction in the market on NQ. right? Even for a counter trend move upside, I have more conviction in it. If it keeps rejecting 5,800, it's going to give me concerns, because you have to ask why. Why do they keep selling it? Don't want a blow off top above it. I did not trade London Open. I wish I did. I did not. I wish I traded Asia Open. I watched it, I called it out in the room, and I didn't put a trade on overnight. I wish I put longs on overnight. It was so obvious what it wanted to do. If you were on stream yesterday, we talked about it. Has it trapped enough people? All right, this is what I talked about last night. Let me find it for you. Into close. Right, so into close yesterday, this is what I was telling the team, all right, looking for this break, inverse head and shoulders, which I took. Took a while to play out, but a nice move. Let's hope today trapped enough shorts and the news allows a leg up tomorrow. MU earnings were good, talked about this at the front of the stream, Nvidia ready to break out. Tech could be strong tomorrow, especially now we got swing shorts in, as in swing shorts were stuck. So far gapping up overnight, couldn't make it easy for us. Banger of a play. And then I gave the extensions and we did the move. All right, we talked about it on stream as well. Shouldn't have been surprised to see that move last night. It was very obvious. I was kicking myself that I didn't take it. I'm not in long now, guys. I'm flat right now. I'm waiting for it to build. It is counter trend. The best long here will be if the momentum flow zones get through the deep pullback and offer something up here into here and then again for another push. But remember, on the day, right, we're in sells. On the day we have been in sells. You have to respect all this structure here. I'd be watching this very carefully. Looking good here. Holding the momentum cloud for now. Nice, Ryan took the partial, stop break even. Exactly how to trade this. Stop move below turning flow zone M1. Okay, so your stop's just below the flow zones, that's fine. It might want to dig down into here, right, to test it, but it's fine. You can always stop out and add back in. You can always take another trade. Never think that one trade is your only trade. You've got plenty of time to stop out, have another attempt, It doesn't matter. As long as you're not doing it sporadically and randomly, and you're taking setups that you're looking for, that's fine. ES again rejecting 5,800, now trading at 796. Remember, we got Fed talkers all day today. Only 5 tick risk. That's unbelievable. Really good. I'm normally finding I have to risk 20 to 30 points a lot of the time. So I'm just scanning news right now. Bear with me. It's looking good here for potential upside squeeze. If it's trapped enough, it can do potential upside squeeze. Respect the structure to the left, though. You must respect the structure to the left. Because shorts will be looking to re-enter this market, all right? They'll be looking to re-enter the market at areas they think are better value for short continuation. All right, so again, ES cannot get through 5,800. Just cannot do it. VIX trading back down to 1550, but the ES is sluggish. Yeah, potentially a bull flag, potentially on an M1. Just remember the higher time frame right now. We're coming into a new H1 candle, all right, which is going to be pivotal. Can very easily come and dig into all of this again. All right, could easily do Come on, Trading View. Come on, Trading View. Can easily do this if it wants to. And then we have to think about, does it do this or does it trap and go back up? But for now, this is looking good. This trend line's holding strong. We're only at the deep pullback zone, and we want to see if we can trade into these levels. Above this, we have a different trade on. We have a range rotational trade on back to VWAP and IB high, which would be high of day, which I very much doubt we do, but hey, who knows in this market? Time and time again, we've seen it. So I want to see a break of structure above these levels here for a stop hunt through 300, looking good. Moving stop up. I really just want to see it go. I want to see it go. I don't want to faff around with this move. So this block here looks like it's holding us down. All right, so these wicks here, 93.75 up to 317, 318. Looking good. Let's get that squeeze up here. Beautiful. All right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Make sure you hold runners just in case enough shorts are trapped, right? Take some profits, hold your runners. Had to hang around for it today, didn't we? Had to hang around for it, but we got it. We got some movement eventually. Wish I got that short with you. I wish I got it, guys. I'm really sorry. I have to stick to my own rules, though. You know, when I'm feeling emotional, when I feel like I've missed out, it's very, very easy for me to quickly get on tilt and start to oversize and chase. So the best thing for me to do at that point is just sit on my hands and breathe. Let the market do what it wants. This is looking good. Great move. Now, can we get through 300? There's a seller at 300, seller at 305, seller at 310. Want to see that burst through 300. There goes the ES through 5,800 now. Want to see it run up and test the IB low. Can it test 804? Remember, we've got a new hourly candle coming in 5 minutes. So if this is just a manipulation higher to go lower, you need to be aware of it. Fig, I don't know what to say to you anymore. Honestly, I'm trying to help you so much. But the fact that you sit through insane amounts of drawdown and fight the market, I really just want you to just stop doing that. It's just not the way to trade. You don't have to trade like me. I just don't want you to fight markets. Okay, so now up over $1,000 on the day with this move, looking good. Really good. How many of you are in long with me for this move? Looking beautiful now through 310. ES approaching its IB low. Okay, we are coming into these areas of supply, all right? Remember we talked about this, these areas of supply. So partials out in towards here. If we can start to do this, we can always add back in for the moves up, all right? But make sure you're paying yourself. It's a great move up from where we took it. 30 points, all right? 30, 40 points up on this. Really good. Approaching the initial balance low. Respect initial balance low, guys. Respect supply. Don't take it all off, but take some off. You have 3 minutes until a new hourly candle. How we close on this hourly candle will matter. Value area low would be 55 if we can trade all the way up there. Candy Cane in it long, beautiful. Ryan in it long, features Frank. Scott, target filled. Let's go, guys. Miss Goody, first time here, saw my initial balance video and it's wonderful. Love my style. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Thanks for the kind words. Okay, so we are going to respect the initial balance, aren't we? As traders, we're going to respect these moves. So we're going to hold the runners, because you should be long from down here. So we're going to take partials out and we're going to hold the runners. Now, if it wants to do this and does a failed auction, if all this becomes failed auctions and it wants to trade upside, let's just think about what I said at the beginning of the day. It can come very deep on an H1 and still be a breakout, retest, and upside. If it does that, we are going to respect these value areas and we are going to respect the blue box out here. This, let's just change this right now. This is very clearly red. This is where buyers are stuck. I'm going to move this up for this range. You must respect that move as we come into it. So let me copy and paste this over onto the lower time frame. Well, that didn't work. It's a shame. Yeah, something definitely up with trading view. Okay, I'll just draw it out, no worries. All right, into IB. Beautiful. See how much easier it got once the ES started showing conviction. This is a beautiful trade here, team. Really, really great trade. Up 77, Mish, and 55 on M&Q. Chris Thorne, you're long as well. Let's go. Lebisque, let's go. All right, we are expecting a bump in the road here, and this could easily be the end of it. All right, this is where we broke down from. This was the base. Might come back in here and sell it down. This is why we take partials and we hold runners, right? But even if this was your only move today, this is all you needed. Old habits are really hard to break. I absolutely agree. And Fig, the only reason I keep saying all this stuff to you and Activate is because I was very much like you. All right, I was so much like you. I used to fight trend over and over and over again. But doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. All right, so now I built this system. So when we are in bullish momentum, I trade up to here on a move like this. When we're in bearish momentum, we follow it. We trade down. We do not fight these. That's why it's color coded. That's why I built it. It's to protect you. It's to protect me. I built it to protect me, and now I'm sharing it with all of you. Right, so a little rejection here on supply for now. We are still counter trend up. You are in a new hourly candle. So if this hourly candle wants to reprice all the way back down, it can test, guys, all the way back down to 215. So this is why we lock in profits. Okay, so if this was a manipulation up and it wants to do a new hour candle down, it's going to do this move. Finally out of drawdown in profit. Fig, you're absolutely insane. Ryan out the trade. Yes, good trade. Good trade. Made money, move on. Cypher, do I look at the initial balance for a sell? Yeah, potentially, but structure first, right? So I'm not going to sell a move that's just coming up. Oh, do that over and over again. I'm not going to sell this move coming up because it might do this move and extend. So I would need to see something like this, right? And give me a cue to sell back down. It's pattern based for me. The Hot Snap Trader, I start at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I normally get off around now. So about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. No worries, Cypher. So yeah, always mark out your key levels and then look for reactions and patterns at those levels. Because if you front run them and it doesn't work, if you don't wait for the pattern, if you don't have confirmation, you can get smoked. That is the main reason Top Step lose over and over again in the house account, because they just call levels and they don't wait for patterns. Right, if we just looked for longs today, we would have got lucky down here, but maybe we took this long and we got smoked, for example. So I took 2 trades today. I took a long above here for a counter trend into this. I sold partial out here and I stopped break even. This actually missed me. I stopped break even here. We then got this squeeze. So think about the pattern. Okay, this is a buy above here. This is setting up a squeeze. We curl above, we start getting long. We flag, we start getting long. Flag, start getting long. We sell into this here. We don't get long now unless it offers us a new pattern or a new reason to get long. If it starts breaking down, we will use, I know this is messy, but bear with me, we'll use this liquidity to go lower and hunt these stops. Yeah, context is everything, Scott. Context is absolutely everything. That will likely be it for me for the day. 2 good trades after missing the trade up all night and the sell all morning. That's pretty good. If you're ever in doubt on the structure, as I always say, go to a line chart. All right, go to a line chart, make it easy for yourself. This is a 5 minute. Right, so this here on a 5 minute, broke above, held in here, broke above, back test. Needs to hold this. If it doesn't hold this, it will want to seek lower. If this isn't clear enough for you, right, you can always adjust it. Go to a 2 minute, for example. What do you have here? Here's your trend down, W, we trend above here. Break of structure, change of character. This here is internal, this is your flag. This is a flag, where do we trade up to? This level here. Make it easy on yourself. If you are struggling to see levels, if you're struggling to see candle structure, I have lots of people who learn ICT and they come to me and they really struggle with candle structure. Just use a line chart if you're struggling, okay? It will make it so much easier for you to see the pivot levels. You're welcome, Jen. You're welcome, Mish. So how many of you are green today? How many of you are green today? Hopefully, most of you in here are green today. David's green. Scott, that is amazing. 1K profit. You took 3 small losses at minus 250 and 1 to 2 E-minis, but you're at $1,000 profit. That's great. J. Powell Jr., still flat. Great name. Exeter, green. Merrick, green. Ryan, green. Jay can't find the long entry. That's fine. Don't worry. Don't take it. If it's not there, that's fine. Mitch, green. Captain, green. Asa, green. Candy, thank you very much. You're welcome. Jen, you're green. Great. Makes me happy. Really happy to hear it. So notice here, guys, just a quick reference for those who are trading with me and doing the course. All right, once we curled, we got through, we back tested supply towards the initial balance. If you look at the ES actually tested the initial balance, right? ES did the equivalent of this move up here and rejected. From here, what are we doing? We're back testing higher time frame algo, previous day high, trend line up. All right, if we start to fail, there is liquidity here it can use for downside retests. Straight out the course, guys, straight out the course. But if you look at ES, let's just move you over to ES and you'll see what I mean. It did the exact move. All right, look at ES. ES did the initial balance move. So its supply was at and above initial balance and it did the rotation flag up. So now if it's going to use this, it's going to come and test all this and maybe clean it up. So ES gave a very, very clear trade off the IB. NQ hasn't done it. For now, holding this uptrend. And the M5, actually what we did, so just notice, is we back tested the old anchored VWAP, which we failed from. We need to do an anchor from a high of day as well. So if you do an anchor from high of day, we are very close to that as well. All right, so right here, this is your previous pivot low, anchored VWAP. This is your high of day, anchored VWAP. Let's do, this one is red. It makes more sense. Okay, so we are back testing. So this is where sellers were in control. This is where buyers were stuck. So if we back test that and stay heavy, we expect a retest of the low. If we get through it, potential squeeze out. Structure is up on an M5 into this block. There's a block here where all the VWAPs are. Right, so you've got 3 VWAPs very, very close together. But structure on the M5, there's your pivot low. You're now trending up. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We expect high high probably into these areas on the M5. If it can't do it, then it's going to use the lower time frame liquidity here, 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 break, and this will be your key for trading lower. But remember, you're in lunch now. Yeah, that's great, David. Glad you are learning. If you want to learn more, guys, if you want to learn everything I'm teaching here and far, far more and get the indicator, you can do the course right now. All right, the course, the link is down below, flowzonetrader.com. You will get $100 off with the code YouTube, which means the course, which comes with this indicator that you're looking at and another indicator, and the Discord room is a one-time fee of $399. That's it. The course is 20 hours long. It is really in-depth. People doing the course on stream right now will tell you it is an in-depth course. This is not a scammy shite course that you do 2 hours and you think you're going to know everything. It's a really in-depth course. So even if you know nothing or you've got bad habits or whatever it is, this course can really, really help you. Yep, Scott's doing the course right now, so he knows, very in-depth. If you go at flowzonetrader.com and you click through to the course, it will take you to the Teachable website. You can actually see every single lesson, every module, the syllabus, how long it is. So you can get a good idea of what I teach on that course before you purchase it. Do I use similar chart setups on Ninja? Yes, Capt, I do. There is actually a video which I did on YouTube on how to set up Ninja. Why am I charging so little, Marek? Well, eventually it will probably go up, but I don't think I should be charging thousands and thousands like a lot of these people do, all right? I don't believe in that. I believe in good karma, so I'm charging what I need, what I think is good value. And it will probably move up over the years, but the course has only been live 8 or 9 months or something. Yeah, Ryan, you're going to do it for a 3rd time. Good for you. Miss Goody, does it say it's for Ninja? What do you mean there, Miss Goody? Can you explain? Does what say it's for Ninja? The video, yes, the video on YouTube will say something like how to set up Ninja. I will find it. Give me a second and I'll try and post it in chat. Okay, so it's called Ninja Trader 8 Full Tutorial. Is there a way of me sharing this? If anyone else has it, maybe they can share it in chat. I don't know how I can turn my ability to chat with you on OBS. Chat, here we go. Okay, I'm going to post it in right here. All right, that's the video. Would I recommend everyone move over to Ninja eventually instead of TradingView? Ryan, that's really comes down to loads of things. I've always traded on it since trading futures, so that's the main reason. But if you like TradingView, you can use things like TradeOvate, where you can link TradeOvate inside TradingView. You can use Sierra charts. You can use Quant Tower. There's loads out there. They're all really good. It just comes down to personal preference. That's great, Caps. Yeah, more than welcome. If and when you're ready, zero pressure at all. Coming back down to these key levels here. So the question is, do we break down here, all right, over lunch, or is this just a two-leg pullback for them to trap to go higher? Is it a two-leg pullback for them to trap to go higher, or do they use the liquidity and break down? Notice we're sitting right on the high time frame algo and previous day high, which means ES should be near 5,800, which it's not. It's let go of it. So that says to me weakness in the market. Right, all the time, ES cannot base above 5,800. I would say weakness in the market. For the likes of Apex, can you use TradingView? Yes, Ryan, you can use TradeOvate, and you can link that to TradingView. You can use that. Thank you very much, Scott. I'm glad it's working out for you, buddy. Really glad. Head and shoulders, yes, potentially head and shoulders like we talked about on a lower time frame using this liquidity. Just be aware of a trap and sweep. That's the only thing I'm aware of, right? Especially over lunch. So if this is a two-leg pullback and a trap and sweep, they will inverse this and use it to come back up to here. It's a tricky place right now. I'm going to be very honest with you. So the fact that we just swept that and swept that, if we get above here, then maybe this. But yes, there is a ton of liquidity. Right here is a battleground lower time frame right now. That's great, Cypher. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Going to give this another 5-10 more minutes with you, team. Enjoying the stream today. Glad we managed to make some profits. I'm glad we managed to make some profits because we didn't get a trade on stream yesterday. I got one after stream in the Discord. Just glad I got two today. One really good one though. One really good one. Market just dancing around right now. Not much movement in the Dixie. Pretty flat barcoding. VIX is basing above its M10 flow zones for those using that. It might want to come and retest that IB high again later. Cypher, yes, I do. So even when I'm off stream, multiple times in the day, I will share what I'm looking at in Discord. If there's a trade setting up that I think is a good trade, I will share it. Okay, so last night we talked about the long. I took a long off stream, okay, in the Discord for a return back up, which we got. And last night after the close, I talked about how good Micron's earnings were and that I expected tech to rally overnight. And we got a huge push up. Very slow now in the market. All volume's gone. I'll sit here with you for another 12 minutes, right? Let's make it even. So at 12:30, I will take a break. I'll probably eat and go to the gym. And get off the screens. Important to get off the screens. Give your eyes a break. Give your brain a break. Right? It is exhausting doing this. Right? Much more than you think. Looking at screens, looking at price action all day, it will take it out of you. Make sure you're taking regular breaks. just shows you only need 1 or 2 good trades a day. Go in, be a sniper, kill it, get off, walk away. Still very tricky here, especially over lunch. Half expect this just to give a nasty candle in a minute, but because we're in lunch, maybe it won't do it. Again, the fact that ES cannot get above 5,800 is a real tell. Cypher, I'll be back a couple times, and if I like what I see, I will buy your course and study it. Yeah, absolutely. No rush to do that. Not forcing a sell or anything like that, you know. But you're more than welcome to join the stream. I'm here 5 days a week. So just dancing now. We're stuck, aren't we? If you have a look. High time frame algo, previous day high, momentum algo, and deep pullback. It's tightening up here. Because we're not above 5,800, we can get very nasty very quickly if it feels like it's trapped enough buyers here. So smart people like us, we bought, we sold, we bought, we sold. Not smart people are buying and 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 buying, and they're really hoping it does the trap move. So part of me thinks it's more likely to make sure that they lose first. That is the market's job, right? It's a casino. It wants to make sure everyone loses. So if it feels like enough buyers stepped in late there, it's going to make sure that they stop out before it does anything else. Capped, well, most of the time, I'm not necessarily saying I'm long right now. Sometimes I do, but most of the time, capped, I'll be like, I'm looking for longs above here. I'm looking for a long above here. Okay, and then I'm taking it. If I'm looking for it and it does it, I'm taking it. Earlier today, I was saying way up here that if we did this move, this move, I was looking for longs here, but it never came, so I was never looking for longs. I never got executed in. It happens when I get in, because I'm using hotkeys, it happens very quickly, but I'm always telling you what I'm looking at before I necessarily get into that trade. It's not like I'm taking the trade and then telling you. I'm telling you what I'm looking for, and then I'm waiting to see if that happens. Like right now, I told you the market, I think, will trade down. I'm not in this short, but it gave you the opportunity to, that if you were looking for this move, and we traded under here, that potentially we can trade back down because ES is under 5,800. The more that you learn and understand, the better it is. Without me saying I'm doing this and I'm doing this, I'd much rather tell you if the market does this, I'm looking for a long. If the market does this, I'm looking for a short. RNC tomorrow. Okay, before everyone signs off, so I'm about to sign off soon, please make sure you've hit that subscribe button, set the alerts for tomorrow so it lets you know when I'm live. Hit the like button. Share this stream with any friends, anyone in any other rooms that you can think can benefit from this stream. Please go ahead and share it. As long as you're not getting kicked out of that room for sharing it, like some of you might with a certain individual who I'm sure gets very upset that you are all streaming and joining me. You're welcome, Scott. No problem at all. All right, so what would I be looking for later today before I sign off? We now basically have consolidation. This is your consolidation range right here. All right, this is your supply. And this is where buyers stepped in on these daily levels. So the market might want to return down here. If we get here, if we get under it and make a flag or a handle, or over it and a handle, you can think about possible continuation. I would be very, very aware about this 5-day moving average, only because from a Bollinger Band perspective on a daily, we like to move from the top Bollinger to the 5-day moving average. So let's move you over, right, from the top Bollinger, which we hit today, to the 5-day moving average is a common move. If we do full mean reversion, it will not happen today. It would take weeks to set up. We will come and hit this 20-day, right, which is this level of support. And then we probably consolidate, and then potentially we do this move for the rest of the year. Potentially, we're not there yet, doesn't have to do anything. So for the remainder of the day, I'd be very, very aware of that move back in. If buyers step up there, there might be a cheap trade, let's say back upside, but you have downside pressure, downside momentum. If you start to reclaim, let's draw this in, see where these trends are. If you start to reclaim these areas here, and you've done this move, let's call it, then you can think about potentially running these stops, all right? Where they shorted on the way down, all their stops will be here. If it really wants to do this today, it can do it. I don't think it does that today. The reason is just looking at the H1 makes it very, very unlikely. We basically have a double distribution day on an H1 right now. All right, so this here is a large, here's distribution, accumulation slash distribution. In the middle, we get thinner. Right, so we know supply is up here at these levels. So if we go upside, I would be looking for 429, it's the bottom of this H1, 400 and 451. And I wouldn't be expecting anything above that. I would expect it to stall out here or here and then trade back into maybe VWAP. I'm not sure we get too much more sell side today. It would have to do this move here and come and clean up these levels. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible. There are tons of liquidity levels hanging down here, but this is a huge move. Maybe that's for next week if we're going to do a failed breakout. Just remember, on a daily point of view, on an hourly point of view, we can still be pro trend up. All the time we're holding these levels, we can be pro trend up. So just be cautious. We've had a really good sell and pullback day today. Don't be oversizing, all right? You should have made some nice money on the moves, whether you caught the move with me or you caught the sell this morning or you caught the buy overnight. You should be nicely in the money. If you're not in the money already, right, if you're red on the day or struggling today, take the rest of the day off because the big moves have happened. You don't want to be forcing yourself on this market. You can come back tomorrow. Tomorrow will offer another opportunity, as will next week, to make money. All right, do not force yourself on this market. And use hard stops. I go over it all the time. They can increase the volatility like that, especially with all the Fed talk happening today. You just need one person to say something really, really dovish for this to start moving, or someone to give some form of indication of war starting to break out. Anything like that can move the market quickly. Use hard stops, protect yourself. I will be back same time tomorrow. Everyone in the room, I'll be back in an hour or two and I'll give you an update where we are in the market. I need a little break for a minute. Until then, use hard stops. Peace.